Updating databases is always clunky, especially doing it for the first time. Sometimes I even have to go and reference my own videos on how to update databases. In this video, we're going to be updating a Avidyne Entegra 5000 Cirrus with Garmin dual 430 watts GPSs. So we're going to update the Avidyne Entegra and the Garmin 430s, and this is a step-by-step video on how to do it. So I'm sitting in the cockpit here, and this is I love actually this system. I've been recently starting to fly an old G2 with the Avidyne system in it. It's available at our flight school, Fly Waterloo, here at the Chicago Executive to be able to rent. But ultimately, there's the Garmin 430s. Man, these things are still oldies but goodies. You know, the Garmin Perspective or the Perspective Plus, or even now the Perspective Touch Plus system is awesome. But you know what? Going back to these every once in a while, still just as powerful. So what we need to do is update these. So I have to go in and grab the card. This is on the left side is the navigation database card. If we see it here, it's important to see that this is a silver sticker. So we've got that unit, and then we have to grab the bottom unit here. There's these like little tabs that you can pull out and see here. I got a silver sticker. And just for kicks, you'll be able to see this is for like obstacles in terrain databases. So if I pull this little tab out, I can see sometimes these things get stuck a little bit. There you go. You can flip it up just like that. And then you're going to be able to see that this is a terrain database. And usually it has a blue sticker. Requires a different subscription and database, but it also requires a different updater card. So I'm going to leave that in there. And we're just doing the nav databases here. Over here on the Avidyne system, we need to make sure a couple different things. When we go and update this, we need to have a 2 gigabyte card or 2 gigabyte flash drive or less. We need a Windows system, and we need to make sure that it's properly formatted. And I'll leave the proper formatting in the description below. So it's going to be nice and easy. Remember, Windows and 2 gig USB stick. That's really, really important. You can use a Mac to update these, but you cannot use a Mac to update the Avidyne Entegra PFD. So we're going to be using a Mac for the Garmin's here in this video, and then we'll also be using a PC. All right, here we go. Let's go inside and actually get this thing updated. Awesome. We're sitting in the office and we're about ready to update the databases. And the first thing we need to do is go and log into into the Jepson Distribution Manager. This is where we're going to download the databases. So I'm going to log in here using my login information. And while this sits here and refreshes, we're going to see a few different things. We have the Cirrus here. So we have 2 Garmin 430 WASP databases, and we have our Avidyne nav database. So we have those databases that are going to be going into the Cirrus SR22 here. Now, the important thing to understand here is if you download all these to your you've got like one shot at these. So if I download these, the amount of transfers remaining is going to go to 0. So you have to be really prepared to do this. And if you've got a fleet manager, make sure that they take care of it. Because if somebody else logs into your account and tries to take that database, that's gone because it's now transferred to your device here. So what we're going to do, I've got my items in front of here. This is a MacBook Air. So remember, we can only update the Garmin 430 cards, which are these. Here is the Garmin 430 card reader. And that's going to plug into my computer here through a USB hub. So I'm going to plug that in. So I've got the card plugged in and the Jepson database into a USB hub. And I'm up here now ready to start working and downloading the databases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come over here to transfer to device. And I'm going to transfer that. And now this says that it's found the 16 megabyte card for a WASP GPS card. And it's the silver label. Remember how I said that silver was important? that's this sticker here. That's our WAS card, so we know that we have the right card. So I'm going to take this and say continue, and now this database being transferred, it's going to take a while. These are slow. This is sort of a slow process, so don't be in a hurry when needing to do this. So it's downloading it, but then when it actually transfers and erases the card and transfers the data onto it, you can see how slow this is. So I'm gonna pause the video here, come back to you right when it's about ready to be finished, and then we're gonna go do the second card. Oh, and while that is still erasing and going, you can see how that still is taking its time. Remember, this is just a general USB stick for the Avidyne Entegra system. This is a 2 GB stick. If it's too big, it will not be, the system will not be able to read it. So make sure 2 GB, and this is formatted to FAT32. So if it's not FAT32, you're not gonna be able to properly transfer the databases and be able to read the system. The Entegra system will not be able to read this. So remember, FAT32 and 2 GB, absolutely key. Okay, the time now is 4:25, and I started this process for this one particular card at 4:15 or 4:16. So it took about 10 minutes to actually program this entire card. So it's just finished. We just got the notification up here in the upper right. Now I'm gonna pull this card out, and we're going to go ahead and do the second card. So I've got the second card plugged in here, and now it is time to transfer this to the device. So as I go ahead and do that, I'm gonna go ahead and click that, continue, and now we should be on our way and going. Now, kind of a cool thing here is that this thing sits and blinks as it goes. So it gives us a little feedback that it's working and going, so looking really good. All right, we've got everything all downloaded and transferred to the devices. This is what I was talking about earlier. See how these are grayed out now? And we have no remaining transfers left. So you just gotta be careful. If you need this, it didn't go right, and you need to reset it, you'll have to call Jepson, and then they'll have to unlock this and put that back in. But so far on both of our cards here, we've got this uploaded and on both of them, so it all went well here. And now we need to do the nav databases. This is what I was talking about earlier. Now that we have both of the nav data cards all downloaded onto our nav databases downloaded onto the cards, you get locked out. There's no more transfers remaining. So Jepson knows that, hey, you've put those on your cards, and for some reason, if you need to unlock those or it didn't go right and you need to reset that, you'll have to call Jepson, and then they'll have to reset everything here. Remember this database here, we need a Mac for. This will be for our USB, actually we need a PC, I'm sorry. We need a PC for this, and this will go on our USB drive here. So we'll do that next. All right, same process, just a different day. I have my USB stick plugged into the laptop. Remember, Windows-based laptop, and it's a FAT32 formatted USB stick in less than 2.0 gigs. So now I'm here. I'm gonna take the Avidyne navigation data, and I'm gonna transfer this to the device. This actually comes up and it expires, or this one goes valid in 2 days, and I'm gonna go ahead and update it now. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit transfer, and you can see how quickly this actually transfers to the USB stick. Pretty simple. Remember, for the 430 cards, it's roughly, I would call it took me 12 minutes this last time in order to do each card, but this is a small file. It's transferring, now finalizing here, and we'll be good to go here very shortly. There it is, it's done. Future cycle program. Let's go to the plane. All right, so I'm back in the plane here, 516 Charlie Romeo, and we're ready to get things fired up. I actually have our cards here. These are all updated, if we remember. These are gonna get put back in. I have that one here. I'm gonna push that in the GPS 1, GPS 2, And then remember the USB stick, I had to use a Windows computer. I ended up buying a something on Amazon for $180. There's a little HP laptop. I'm only going to use it for updating databases, which is nice. So I have this, and this has been updated using the same process as we did the GPS cards. So now I'm sitting in the plane. I'm going to take the USB stick, put this in here so that fits. So you can see it here just with the glare. That actually looks really nice. I've got the GPS is in here. Now I'm going to come in and do battery 2, battery 1, and then turn the avionics on. And then let's see how this ends up looking. So here we go. Flight Max is starting up. The GPSs look good. That's all starting here. Takes a second. So just be patient with all these databases and everything. It looks really good. So as we fire this up, looking great. Here we are. Perfect. Great. So we can actually see here that our databases are looking good. And we have, that's a battery alerter, by the way, just in the background. So we have our databases, those look good here. Those are in white. And then here it says data loader begin to, with the system up, or begin system update for our data load. So I'm gonna hit proceed. Now it's taking our navigation. There we go, just silence that. And now we're actually updating everything. So it's all looking good here. Everything's looking like it's on track at the moment, so we're doing nice. Got a little awkward silence here, but that's all right. Initializing, we should be able to see here in just a second. The charts are expired. We don't subscribe to those, but when we actually look at the navigation databases, we should be able to see that. So it's looking good. The nav databases February 19th through March 19th. That's a good update. So we are good to go from a navigation database system. All right, so updating the databases, once you get through it for the first time, it actually becomes a lot easier. I ended up buying that dedicated HP laptop. It was really simple. I got something on Amazon. It was $180, but now I have a computer that can handle everything. I typically use a Mac, so we did the Mac updates with the GPS database cards, but in order to do the nav data on the Avidyne, we need that Windows machine with the USB stick of 2 gigs or less, and formatted into FAT32. So anyway, I'm excited. We got the process dialed in. I'm documenting this for you, and for me, and for the team. So anyway, I'm just so glad that you're able to come out and watch these again. The plane that I'm sitting in is a 2005 SR22, and it's really fantastic. I love this plane. These G2s actually have a really nice wing bounce in the wing, but it's available for rent, and we've got some instrument students, some private students, and a bunch of renters flying this here at the Chicago Executive Airport. So if you ever want to check it out, come see us at Fly Waterloo. Otherwise, leave a comment below, see if this video was helpful, and we'll chat with you soon.